Okay. All right, sir. You'll go ahead now, please.
I would like to clarify some of the charges that has been made against my followers and myself. In the various presses, news items, we are being charged with teaching black supremacy. Fact about it, we are being called black Muslims. I don't know how that name got around to us, because all Muslims are not really all black. We have some other than black. But we have been charged with teaching black supremacy. I don't know exactly what the people that is making this charge against us really mean. Whether they mean that we are teaching that the black man will rule after the white man, or whether they are using this kind of charge against us to make it appear that we want to do something of the nature of violence in America against the government. If they are referring to who shall rule after the white man rule, I think that's clear to you and I, who shall rule after the white man. There is no alternative about that. We don't have another white race to rule. If the white race rule will terminate, we don't have any other to rule but the darker people of the earth. So I would like that this be made clear. We are not teaching that kind of teachings in that sense. Really, we are teaching that Islam will rule, the righteous people will rule after this wicked world rule has terminated. That is really what we are teaching. And we are not teaching the overthrow of the government or any government. Really, I have been missioned to teach my people in America the religion of Islam and the knowledge of themselves and others. And with the knowledge of themselves and others, they make a better citizen in America and elsewhere than they has been without the knowledge of themselves. They ain't saying again that I'm teaching them to clean up themselves morally and spiritually, to make themselves acceptable by their own people and by any civilized people. We are not trying to do anything in the way of violence, allying ourselves on the side of those who would do such. The thing that we are trying to do is trying to make ourselves a better people than we have been made. And this has caused a lot of misunderstanding and willfully charges of unimprovement that I am trying to teach my people to join any forces against America's, or rather any enemies of America. We have not joined up with any forces that is the enemies of America. We are absolutely a little group of our own self, under the guidance of Almighty Allah, trying to make ourselves a better people. We desire separation. We desire a chance to go for ourselves as any other nation. We think that we have served America well for the past 400 years, and we would like to have the chance to do something for ourselves. We cannot forever live in America, 20 million people, and depend on the white man of America to grow food, clothe our backs, shelter us from our out of doors. We cannot hope to find jobs for ourselves in America with an ever-increasing population of the so-called American Negro. 20 million people today are absolutely, my people, are absolutely dependent upon America's government to support us. We are now 400 years from the time that we entered into America. Our rather was brought here by the slave trader John Hawkins. And now today, America says that we are free and that we can go for ourselves. We would like to go for ourselves. We would like to make a try at doing something for self. This is exactly the base of all of my teaching. It is to unite my people, get them together, and start them on the road to doing something for themselves. We don't have factories here in America to give employment to our people. We don't have farmland here to grow food for our people, which I'm also asking for. If we be given even a chance here to make food, grow food, do something in the way of supporting our own needs of getting something for ourselves to fill the needs of our people other than the laying around the doorsteps of the white men of America's begging for this. Because we don't see no chance in the cotton fields of the South anymore for our people. They have cotton pickers down there. It's a mechanical cotton pick. It's a machine. Picks the cotton. They have one to chop the cotton. Years ago, we used to do that. We don't have that kind of employment in the South anymore. All that we used to do for the white man of America in the way of labor, he now is able to do that for himself with his late modern machines. And what future do we have in America if we are going to depend on employment or job in the factories of the white man of America, and the bread line is the only alternative. If we are not employed, we have to go to the bread line and beg you to feed us. So this is a kind of a thing that we are ashamed of today, to be beggars and continue to beg after 100 years of so-called freedom. And I do think it's time for us, with the guidance of Almighty Allah, to do something for our own self. We are not trying to teach our followers to take your place. We're not trying to teach our followers to overthrow your government. We're asking you to just to give us the chance to do something for ourselves. If you can make a way here for us to do something for ourselves by setting aside some of your own country for us to live in, to wait for our own self and make a way for ourselves as you are making a way for yourself and has made a way for yourself for the last over 500 years here in the Western Hemisphere, then that's fine. But if you will allow us to return to our own people, we most certainly will be glad to go. Because that's where we came from, and that's the place that the Bible predicts that we will return. And if we are not allowed to return to our people, then give us a chance to live to ourselves in your own country, where that we will not be giving you any trouble. There are many of the whites does not like the darker people of America and does not want any association with them at all. We know that. We have learned that all our lives. We're not asking for absolutely social equality. We're not asking to be your equal because you own the country and you are rich, independent, and we are poor. And we are nothing but servants and underprivileged people. We have not been given equal justice with you, equal opportunity. So since that we are free, as you have said, we would like to exercise that freedom to ourselves. We are not wanted to make trouble with you. We don't want to tell you that we have as much right to sit beside you in your own restaurant and demand you to feed us there as you feed your own self. We're only asking for a chance to go and build a restaurant for our own self, as you have built for yourself. We're not asking you to get up out of your feet on your railway transportation, give it to us. We're only asking for a chance to go and build one for ourselves. We're not asking you to take us for your equal, because you can't take us for your equal. We're not your equal. You are absolutely free, independent people, and this honor of Americas and the cities, towns, and all the industries of America is yours. You build it. All the free, or rather transportation that is in America is yours. We're not asking that we be taken as your equal there and demand you to give us equal respect, because we are not in position to demand such. But just give us a chance that we can go someplace build for our own self and leave yours alone and stop the headache among you over the so-called American Negro trying to demand this and demand that of yours. We are not that group of people that is trying to do something of the kind. We are not that able. We know we are not that smart yet. We are not able as yet with our own scholars and scientists, technicians, to build no such equal government as you have. But give us a chance to go somewhere and build one for ourselves. That's what we're asking. Because today we cannot get alone in peace with you. Ever trouble all the time throughout the country between the white man and the so-called Negro. And it has been that for 400 years. So why should we trouble you longer? Why should we try to agree when we know we're not going to agree, because one is a slave and the other one is the master, and has been like that for 400 years. We don't own anything other than a chance to wait for you. And when you have no wait for us, then we must sit down and wait until that you make a job for us. But equal education, the freedom to enter your schools, your colleges, universities, and be graduated from those schools and colleges and universities will put the same idea in us and desire that you have in you. It will make us want to be equal in the same thing that you have and give us the same chance that you have. An educated slave cannot be dealt with like an uneducated slave. When you educate a man and teach him what you know, then he desires that you recognize him as your equal. And that's what is fast coming to you in America. You are given us education, and now we want just what you have. We want a country for our people. We want the same thing that goes for civilization as you have. And that's all we are asking for now today is that particular chance. If we are free, then let us go and don't hinder us from trying to go. That is the thing that we are asking today. And America's here today for the last 30 years. I have been teaching my people Islam, the religion of God and his prophets, and the natural religion of the black man. And I'm being hindered, persecuted for the last 29 years. We have been persecuted for this cause under other false charges, but absolutely just because we want to be Muslim. I was put in prison. I was not allowed to have the Holy Quran in jail, not even in the federal penitentiary. It was not allowed. Though all other religious prisoners of faith was permitted to have their own religious books, read them at will, and study their religion in prison. But we were not. And up until this very hour, the federal penitentiary, the local prisons, jails will not permit us to have our own holy book to read. This is a proof that Americans actually don't want the so-called American Negro to go back to Islam, where he absolutely came from. Before ever he was brought to America, he was in Islam. Islam overran Africa long time before ever we was brought here. And it is Africa's desire today to return to Islam, and it's our desire here in America, the followers of mine, to go back to the religion of Islam, a religion that will give us absolutely freedom, justice, and equality, and brotherly love throughout the Islamic world. It is a religion that came with God. It is the very nature of God. It is the very nature of any righteous person. The religion, Islam, their name means entire submission to the will of God. And if a man is to be righteous, if he's professing himself to be the servant of God and he's not willing to submit to the will of God, then he's not a man that is trying to serve God. This is the religion that we desire to go back to because it is our very nature. And therefore we are asking for that privilege. And the prison's houses today, my followers, is being mistreated. They are being denied the freedom to read their own holy Quran or to practice their religion. And I don't see how America can justify herself in declaring the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and is suppressing it all the time among the so-called American Negroes who would like to return to their own religion, which is Islam. As you know, out here in California, Folsom Prison, we was charged out there with creating a row out there. Now, as you know, the Attorney General has cleared us of that charge, as many other false charges that have been made against us in New York. There in the UN, some group, other than our own, started trouble there, fist fighting. As soon as it was started, the chief of police in New York hurried over and told the speaker that we was the one. It was Elijah's followers. If you give us the credit for actually what we have and what we are, for the last 30 years, you will find Elijah have never taught his followers to create any disturbance or make any violence anywhere in America. I have lived among you all my life for 63 years. I don't have any such charge to my own account, nowhere in America. Today, I travel all over America. I travel alone because I don't have no right to be afraid of anything because I have not committed any wrong and I don't think to do any. And these charges, I hope that you will stop putting against me and my followers. We're not guilty of them. And it is not our aim to try to teach our people to take your government from you or your country from you. I'm well aware to the prophesier of the Bible in Quran. I know where that we belong, and we are not after your country. I'm only asking, if you won't let us go to our own country, then give us a place here somewhere in your country where we can be separated to our own self to live our own life and not worry you. And support us for a few years, 20, 25 years, until we are able to go for ourselves. And if we are not able after that time, then bring your army over and shoot us down, because we will not be worthy of any such thing as a help towards getting on the road to south. We are pretty lazy, some of us. I'll admit that. Some of us would desire to lay around your doorstep and beg you for a break. But if you give me a chance with these people and don't hinder me, I can make that same lazy man smart. If I give him the knowledge of himself, he will go for himself. I'm sure that our people will wake up and do something for self if they are given a chance to do so. But holding a man down and not giving him a chance to go for himself, you don't know what's in the man, and he don't know what's in himself, because he's never had a chance to exercise those dominant faculties that is lying in him that probably would make him a much better citizen, a greater people than what he really is. But giving them a chance is the thing. Justice. I preach freedom, justice, and equality. Justice for the so-called American Negro is a thing that he have never enjoyed. He never had the chance to sit down, even at home, and feel that he is protected by the laws of America. He has never felt like that, because you have never given equal justice under your law. So we are preaching freedom, justice, and equality. That I will say, to a point what I charge you with, that you never give him freedom, justice under your law. Right in the courts today, we have been in it several times. Even we are hindered in trying to hire an attorney for our own defense. Our own attorneys have told us how that they are being annoyed by calls, telling them, will you defend them? Will you do this for them? You should be ashamed of yourself. This is terrible for a great, rich, powerful, intelligent civilization who has worked a nation of people for 400 years in their midst, and today they represent themselves all over the world as being peace-loving people and people that desire everybody to have equal justice under their law, and with a whole nation of so-called Negroes living in their midst will even hinder any of their own lawyers who practice their law to even try to defend us in the court, to give us justice there. If you study any charges that have been made against us for the last 30 years, making trouble in the city's police department, you will find that these police were absolutely guilty of attacking us. We never have attacked no police since that we have been teaching in America. We never have tried to oppose the successful duty, pardon me, the successful performance of the duty of a peace officer. We never have did that. But we have been charged with it after they attack us. The police have attacked us time and again for just or rather for no other cause than that we are Muslim and desire to break us up, break down our morale, and make us go back into what we want. It is absolutely foolish to say to you or anyone or myself, after knowledge of the truth, to go back there and accept false. But it's foolishness to say to any man after he have knowledge of anything, and then to ask him to act as though he don't have knowledge of it, and to do other than that. We can't go back to that ignorant state that we was once in. We didn't know ourselves, we didn't know you, and since we know ourselves, and since we know you, we are today getting along in your midst more peaceful than we were before ever we had the knowledge of ourselves and you. We know how that we should act by you. We know we should honor you as the rulers of the land. We know that you make your laws, and we are to obey them and abide by them. We live under them, and you will find the Muslims of Elijah Muhammad trying the utmost to obey your laws. We are not teaching against them, and we hold our peaceful assembly, we don't hold them to try over behind those walls. Pardon my language, as I'm not a college student. To try and teach the ones that behind the walls to start trouble, make trouble, go out and attack white people, beat them up, do not obey the law because we are the power. We don't teach no such foolishness that. We are not that dumb. We're in your country, we're under your law, and our Holy Quran teaches us that we must obey those in authorities over us, whether they are of our religion or not. And that is nothing but right. No man can go in the other man's house and try and take over unless that he's able by force to do so, or unless the other man permits him to do it. But we are not seeking no such thing. We're not seeking your own house. We're not seeking to rule it. This is your house. We're only seeking a chance to build us a house. Let us go for ourselves. That is the thing that we are actually seeking to do. Black supremacy, we're not teaching our people in no such way that we teach our people that we are the original people, we are the first, we are the last. That is understood by you yourself. We were here before you came on the earth. That's understood. Because your civilization began 6,000 years ago, but we had this earth populated with millions and hundreds of millions of people wherever you was ever on the planet. We know that. These truths about your history and about our own history, you allow us to teach it. You permit such teachings and speeches in your midst. If we don't know you and if we don't know ourselves, how are we to get along with you? If this knowledge have come to us of your history and our history, we are able to get along with you far better than we did before because we understand you. We understand the nature of you, and you understand us. You always have known us, but we didn't know you. And these truths that have come down to us from God Almighty is things to make the people to seek to twist them up and accuse us of other than the real thing that we are actually teaching and doing for the purpose of gaining the people, rather especially my own ignorant people on the side, for the purpose of putting a stop to the teachings of Islam in your midst. By the spirit, power, guidance of Almighty Allah, I have made better citizens, better followers in your midst than the church has ever made of them. These are the things that I would like that you know that Elijah is doing in your midst. We are trying to get something for ourselves. That's all we're asking for. So let us go for our own self. And again, we are charged with teaching the tongue of the white man of America. I never made no such charge, rather prophesy since I've been teaching Islam. I am not that dumb. I know the prophesy of the Bible. I know that of the Quran. I know that Allah will not tell me nor anyone else the doing of the doom of a people. He don't do that. We are told and how to expect the doom of a people by certain times. But actually the day is not known. And I'm not so ignorant to teach that. In Washington, when that hour before the TV there of Wallace and Lomax, I didn't ever say anything of the kind. What actually was asked me by Lomax was that when did I think that my people would believe in Islam? I told him that I believe by 1970 that all of my people mostly would be resurrected into the knowledge of Islam. That is what I said, and you may listen to the tape recording that was made at that time, and you will find that's just what I said. We have it ourselves. But I have not been trying to sue the papers and magazines for such charges because the government knows that I didn't say no such thing. So these things I would like to clear you out, that again, we are Muslims, we have believed in Islam, and that we intend to die in. We never will believe in anything other than the religion of Islam, the religion of entire submission to the divine will of God, and the religion according to the teachings of Islam is the very nature of the righteous. That is to submit to the will of the God, our truth, freedom, justice, and equality, who is the very author of righteousness. That is what we are trying to do, I think.
Sir, I don't know about your experiences in Washington or New York.
Excuse me. Before you ask the question, identify yourself so we know who you are.
Ed Fleming, ABC Television. I do know that we had a rather uncomfortable experience here this morning, getting past the stern-faced men who represent your organization. And asking them questions they refused to answer seems very creative, and the organization has kind of a militaristic feeling about it. Are you on the defensive? Do you feel that you are running a totalitarian organization because you have to in order to protect yourself against the white people?
Well, I am not doing nothing of the kind. We're not no people. We're not trying to practice in such way, because we don't expect to have to fight a war. And we are very careful about who comes before us at times, because we have threats made against us again and again. I have a letter in my pocket now full of threats. And therefore my followers would just desire to see you coming, not for any other than what you actually are coming for. Not for anything like violence or harm. That's all they want to be shoot at.
But I noticed the guard behind you is taking down my name. Now, is that an implied threat because I have the American...
No. Just want to know who he's talking to, or rather who I am talking to.
It makes me scared.
Well, I will tell you that you have no fear. You need not have any fear.
Your name?
In the Associated Press.
What's your name?
Ferguson of the Associated Press. Where would you like to establish this area where you will make your own civilization? And what part of the country? Is there any one area that you would decide upon?
Yes, sir, but I will tell that to the government whenever they take any interest in what I'm saying. If they desire to know, desire to look into this particular, I would say, for a complete separation, let them go for themselves. I will tell them area that I think would be good for us.
How big an area would it be? A state, 3 states, a half a state, part of the country? Is there any estimate we can make?
Well, I think that that would depend on the particular utility of the area and the population that is going in that area.
Mr. Muhammad, CBS Television News.
Yes, sir.
My name is Maury Green.
Yes.
Why won't you tell us where this area is? Why is it a secret?
It is not a secret, but I'm talking to the press, and I would rather wait and see whether the government have any interest.
Do you have any indications of interest from them in such a proposition?
No, not as yet.
How many people, how many Negro people do you think would join you in moving to such an area if it were provided?
I do say that the whole entire 20 million would join in with me if the leaders of my people would be intelligent enough to come and sit and talk with me as you are talking with me and question me on this particular mission in their midst, be intelligent, and try and learn what we are absolutely preaching and teaching. I do believe that they all would unite, and with me, there would be no question.
Why do you feel that your people have no chance for equality of opportunity and justice with all the moves that are being made in that direction these days by the government and by responsible people of the white race?
I have every reason to believe. We have 400 years here with you. We are being attacked by you and denied civil rights today in your midst. After the government is preaching civil rights, it is still denying us civil rights. We were attacked no longer than the 5th of last month in Monroe, Louisiana. And the police came right in and jumped on my followers with their billets and whatnot, beating them up, and then declared themselves to be innocent, and that my followers attacked them. And then even did not want us to get a chance to get to justice, even as much. And this is clear, and as our 5 fingers on our hand, that we absolutely are denied civil rights up until this very moment. The majority of my people in America is denied.
You feel then that such actions as that which occurred at Monroe, Louisiana, typify the sentiments of the white race?
There's so many before that. There are hundreds and hundreds of them before that. This is just all of one.
A chance for improvement of relations between the white and Negro races then?
I don't think that I know that there is no way of absolutely getting along in peace between the slave master and his slave, one slave. In no such way as granting the slave equal rights with the slave master, because that is against even the law of nature. You cannot make your slave your equal. And the only way to solve this whole thing, it is to let the slave go for himself, give him a fish off. As the government wants discussed of colonizing the Negro, I do think, we don't want that today. I do think that this is the only way out. We just can't look for equal justice with you. So you are the master and we are the servant. I think the government then should send us back where they gotten us from.
What about those who get radio? How many followers? What did you have? 5,000. How many followers do you think?
That is so. That is impossible for me to say. Today I may have 1,000 coming in throughout the country today.
Over 20,000 in your organization now?
Oh, I would say that if I would have to just use an approximate figure, I would put it 10 times or more than 20,000.
Over 200,000?
Yes.
Are you making any special efforts at conversion in the prisons in the United States?
Myself, I'm not trying to get in the prison to convert anyone, but wherever the truth goes, these teachings of Islam and of the knowledge of my people, if it's in prison house or if it's out in the free world, it takes the mind of the so-called American Negro under study or consideration of self. Therefore, if he enters the prison house and he hears it there, he become a convert to most of them. Because it is absolutely time for him to begin to think in terms of self and in terms of trying to do something for himself. And this teaching, as probably you know, would come to him about this time. If we have to go into biblical prophesy and everything like that, since you are Christian people, I'm quite sure you will agree with me that we all could expect what we see and hear today, according to the Bible and Quran. If we don't believe in that, well then okay.
Like KTTV News. There's been quite a bit of expression with the Negroes against your organization. What is your opinion of that?
Ignorance of the knowledge of what I'm teaching.
Is it a matter of converting them?
It is written that they all will be converted. And I don't say that they won't be converted. As I just said, if they would come and sit down and discuss the teachings with me, I do believe 99% of them will believe.
Jack Lang, it's all time.
I'd like to read you two sentences from your column of March 23rd, in which you said, "The so-called Negroes of America will soon learn that there is no justice under the flag of America for them. You will soon bear witness that the white race of America is none other than the real devil in person." Is that your view?
That is true. That is true. We have 400 years experience under your flag, and we never have gotten justice.
Is that then what you consider to be understanding the white race and having equal relations?
That is true. That there is no way of bringing about a peace, as I just said, between the slave master and his one slave.
Pete Miller, KHJ. Would you and your followers take an oath of loyalty to the United States government?
Will we do what?
Take an oath of loyalty. A loyalty oath to the government.
Will we take one?
Would you be willing to?
What are we doing now? We're living on your government, and we are obeying your laws and everything.
But do you consider yourself loyal to the United States government?
If we are not loyal to the United States government, it is the government's own privilege to prove that we are not loyal.
Would you allow a white man to join your group?
Will I allow a white man to join my group? If the white man can believe in Allah and believe in the religion of Islam and will accept it and carry out the 5 principles of belief and practice in our midst, he would not be any other than a Muslim.
Sir, after Fleming again, does your organization maintain contact with Muslims in the Middle East and Africa?
I made a pilgrim to Mecca in 1959 and Medina.
Do you have any official connection with the Muslims there?
As a brother, I am their brother, and that goes for all the Muslims on the planet Earth.
Have they acknowledged this? Do they welcome you?
I wasn't turned down in Mecca and Medina. I was permitted to make the pilgrim there and to kiss the black stone as all the other Muslims. And I was recognized by the Amir of Islam and all the other authorities in the Muslim world. I will receive.
Charges against the practice of the Muslim religion and its practice in the Muslim state, the Islamic state.
It's the same. The 5 principles of belief and practice is the same.
In other words, if I were a Muslim of Egypt, like a organization, exactly like that organization in Egypt, all the religions would be the same.
I lived in Egypt for over 2 weeks, and we all are the same. We all have the same belief.
Sir, given old LA time, is there an organization called the Flower of Islam?
The flower of Islam? I don't know of any such.
You don't know of any such
The
organization?
flower of Islam, I don't know of any such.
Is there some organization within the Muslim movement whose purpose is relevancy is some the core of some future bodies of troops, or isn't there some organization of this nature?
That if such is existing, that comes on the head of some political government of Islam, and I have nothing to do with that.
Pete Miller, KHJ again. Do you have a special elite trained in judo methods and other means of physical force?
We take physical training, yes.
Why?
Why? Because it's good for our health and as any other one.
Judo, good for your health?
Is it good for any other person? It's good for us. We're taught in college and university to try and protect ourselves.
Do you take military training, sir?
Sir?
Do you take military training of any kind, or do any of your men?
No. We don't teach military because we are not expecting to go to war. We only desire to live in peace and the right understanding of the truth. I do believe will bring about peace other than the sword. The sword has not been able to establish peace.
Why do you object to the name Negro?
because it's a plain name given to us by your own people, and there's no such a thing as a race or nation of Negroes.
What should the race be called?
We should be referred to as members of the Asiatic nation, or the black nation, or the tribe of Shabazz, in which we were originally in, or rather belonging to. We are still members of the tribe of Shabazz.
Sir, where were you born?
I was born in
Fleming, once again. Where were you born, sir? What was your name at birth?
I was born in Georgia, the state of Georgia, not very far from Sandusville, Georgia. And I was brought up under the slave master's name that my grandfather and my father were under when they declared that they were free.
What's that?
Pooh.
Pardon?
That was Pooh.
Cool.
There was a slave master that owned my grandparents in Georgia, out from Sandusville in Washington County, by the name of Pooh. And he owned my grandparents, and they were left in his name when that they declared that they were free. This is one thing the white people should have done. They should have told my grandfathers that they are no more theirs, and therefore you have no rights to go in our name. As these are not our name, your name is your name, and my people's name is their people's name. And that people of ours, we should be in their name and not in yours, because we are your slaves as long as we go in your name.
Like KTTV, do you consider yourself citizens of the United States?
Consider myself citizens of the United States. I consider any man a citizen of any government where he gets equal rights in that country or in that government. If a government grants to me equal rights in its government and declares that I'm a citizen there, I have acquired citizen rights, are born there, and they grant it to me equally as they does themselves, I say I'm a citizen.
Then you say you're not, because you're not.
I just told you that that the so-called American Negro has never gotten equal justice with you. And if we does not get equal justice with you, which that you absolutely will agree with me, because we're still fighting for civil rights, then how can we be a citizen when that we don't have enjoy citizen rights? We just a slave for you. You didn't call us citizens 100 years ago.
Los Angeles Herald Express. My name is Clyde Lee. Who is now the actor and report his statement? Some of the people that
Minister Malcolm is a minister of mine. Yes, sir.
You unqualified as support for the statement that he is based on what I believe is your official house record.
Well, what is the statement that you're referring to?
Some of them I have read, I felt were somewhat less than conservative in reference to our white race devils, those were them the ultimate situation of the so I would say that I just wanted to have a question of your point of view.
What, about the devil part?
Yes.
What does you consider devil?
What do I consider a devil?
Yes, sir.
I don't believe in the devil.
You don't believe in the devil? No. What does you consider a personal devil?
Well, as I say, sir, I don't believe in it.
You don't even believe that such thing exists?
No, that's correct.
Oh. What does the devil, the name devil mean?
Devil?
Yes.
God, you're the opposite of God, where God still being good, and the devil stands for evil.
Stand for evil. Are you good?
Am I what, sir?
Are you good?
Not as good as I should.
Anything else?
Yes, I have another question on Sorger from the AP again. When I came out and talked to Mr. John, ma'am, to your right, I held out my hand to shake hands. He declined to shake my hand. I noticed that with several other people also this took place. Is this part of the way all of you people feel, or is that just...
No, no, it doesn't teach that. It doesn't teach that. No,
Shake hands with the Caucasian?
almost daily.
Sir, we've been pretty good at identifying ourselves. Could we have the gentleman behind you identify themselves?
Yes, sir. Identify yourself. This is Secretary John.
Do we have their full names?
I give him Ali, John Ali. John Ali. I call it that.
The last name, sir?
Ali, A-L-I.
What's his real name?
That's his real name.
Christian? I mean,
He's not a Christian. He's not a Christian.
was he christened at birth?
So what?
Was he christened that at birth?
No, he was born that.
Born with that?
He was born that.
At
We
birth.
could not have been, if you were driving at your own name, we could not have been born your name because we're not white people.
I say, was he given that name at birth?
He was born that. If he wasn't given that, it belongs to him. That's the thing. Because that's his people name. His people goes in such that. And he should go in the names of his own people, as you goes in the name of your people.
We'll have a democratic in Los Angeles. Can you tell me why such legal leaders in the United States, such as Reverend King or Mr. Wilson, behind your organization?
Well, I have never met them face to face. I don't believe they would do so if we would discuss.
What is your opinion of their method of integration?
Well, I just made that clearer when I told you that we desire not to be beggars.
Pete Miller again, why do you oppose the NAACP?
In what way?
Aren't you opposed to the policies of the NAACP?
And what policies? They have more than
Their
that.
program for advancing colored people in America.
I'm also trying to advance them myself.
But are you or are you not opposed to the NAACP?
I'm not opposed to advancing our people.
But are you or are you not opposed to the NAACP? Do you oppose them? Are you against what they work for?
If they are working for the advancement of my people, I'm not against that.
Do you think they are?
I think they are. I'm not with them in begging. That's the thing. I'm not with them. I'm not. I can't advance my people about making them beggars of yours.
Just another professional question. Have you ever had a press conference like this before?
No, sir. This is the first real one that I have had. I have had a couple of press conferences, but not like this.
And why did you call this specifically? What was the reason for coming to Los Angeles to call a press conference?
Because, I think the newspaper, the Herald Dispatch invited you to come over and meet me to clarify that I may clarify some of the charges that has been made against myself and my followers. This is one of the reasons that I would like to have met you and to clarify these charges that have been made against us that is not true.
Thank you.
Austin Conover, Citizen News. Would you tell us about this 1970? Would you clarify that? Is that a deadline or?
I just said that the only thing I said about 1970 that I believe that my people would by that time be believing in the religion of Islam.